Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to thank you for being here today, answering these questions. I'm going to make a long comment and then a short, quick question, hopefully to end our questions of you today. I really appreciate, what you're doing here today is not easy. It's a first year for a proposal, and it's quite complicated what you're here to try to answer questions about. So I really appreciate your work here today and want to work with you. I need to get information back to your team through you, so I'm going to make a quick comment about elimination versus reduction. When I ran for office, there was a room about this large. It was a rectangle right here, all the way back to that wall. There were 75 people in it, rowed up, looking right at me. As I was giving my speech about what I was going to do as a state representative, they were basically looking past me. They were quiet and respectful, but they didn't care about that. Then I got to property tax issue. And I said, as a new person, I better not say I can eliminate because I knew what the numbers were. So I used the word reduce. And then a lady stood up in the third row and she said, "Son, you seem like a very nice," right in the middle of my talk. No questions were to be asked then. "Excuse me, you seem like a nice young man. But you have to use the word eliminate," and everybody cheered. And then I finished and I said, finished out what it was. She came up to me and she said, "You have to understand that it's so complicated." This little old lady came up to me, retired woman. She said, we've been looking at this for years, and it's so complicated. When you start to move all the variables and all the different pieces, it's a gray area, and it gives the politicians an opportunity to raise overall taxes. You've heard this different ways. I'm trying to say it the way I heard it and the way it was explained to me, and the way that it was the only thing that when I took office, despite my background and experience, that I actually took on exactly what people in my district told me to do, exactly, because it made sense to me. They said, there's so many things that even the best 10 people working together, which we have many people, 203 in the House and more throughout the process, the administration and the Senate as well. There's many good people looking at this. So what they said is, we don't want to be caught in that bait and switch situation. But we don't want any taxes. This is called the Brandywine Taxpayers Association. And they said, we don't want any taxes increased. Okay, a very conservative group of people. However, we're willing to understand that that number is large, and we're willing to raise these two other taxes, the sales and income, if you remove the possibility of the bait and switch by eliminating the school property tax. It's something that they believe that is just not the right tax policy to have, but they know they know schools have to be paid for. The elimination helps us. This woman proceeded to tell me that this day was coming. And I heard it when the governor got up. And I also heard we finally have a governor that's talking about this issue. So I'll give kudos to the governor for talking about the issue. But my question, and Mr. Chairman, I'll save going into the financial details until round 2 of the questions.
There's no round 2.
Okay. I just wanted to give you the opportunity to say that. Wealthy people in my district, one as recently as last Monday, sat with me at a breakfast meeting and said to me, "Where are you on the property tax elimination? And I want you to know on House Bill 76, it actually hurts me," she said. "It hurts me. We'll have to pay more. However, I think it's the right thing to do." Now, under the governor's proposal, what we're doing is not just doing 76, but it's going to hurt them even more. Now I have to go back to that person and say, guess what? Not enough. You didn't hit fair share yet. Got more fair share for you. So my question is this, and I really appreciate you. I promise this was shorter doing it this way, Mr. Chairman. Why stay in the gray area? Why not go right to eliminating this tax? The gray area creates distrust among people out there in my district and distrust among me, me and other representatives who support the elimination. So my question is, why was the decision made to stay in the gray area of reduction? Why not go and eliminate school property taxes?
I do understand what you're saying, but it is, I think we'd love to eliminate property taxes if that were possible, but you can't make the perfect the enemy of the good. And this is a proposal that takes into account the fact that we are facing a $2 billion deficit, that takes into account the fact that the state is not being supportive enough of school districts right now, and allows us to increase the state share of support for public education. It allows us to create a better, more competitive tax climate for businesses, to attract businesses here, so we'll have better jobs for people to go to. You can't make the perfect the enemy of the good, is what I'd have to say about that.
Well, I don't like your answer, but I appreciate your answer. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.